Last night, a lot of fans were disappointed that Liv Morgan did not win the Women's World Championship in that Battle Royal. And I can understand, them not being too happy with it. A lot of them feel like Triple H pretty much has lost his touch and everything. But here's the thing. If Triple H lost his touch, then why would he allow certain talents that were on the main roster to go down to NXT when he was running it and, basically shine, show that they could still go? Why would he, allow certain talents, to overshadow his up-and-comers? Real simple. It's because of the fact that he always has a plan. You look at that and you see something similar with Shawn Michaels right now in NXT. Some people would say Shawn is allowing some of the main roster talent to outshine his NXT talent, but there's a plan. There's always a plan. They always have something in mind. Now, with that said, when it comes to Liv Morgan, that is an interesting situation. Because, again, some were hoping that last night she would have became Women's World Champion. And yes, storyline-wise, it did, suit her to win the championship. But there's another thing, that overshadows that. It's called sales. It's called business. It's called who's going to put more butts in the seats, or at least help in doing that. And all the fingers pointed in Becky Lynch's direction. I mean, you look at it this way. It was either Becky Lynch or it was going to be Nia Jax. And a lot of fans probably wouldn't have had a problem with Nia Jax either. I mean, you want Liv to prove that, hey, she can beat dominant, female wrestlers, on the WWE, women's roster? Who more dominant outside of Rhea Ripley than Nia Jax? But her going up against Becky, that right there is something you have to keep an eye on. Because here's the thing. A lot of folks weren't too thrilled that Chad Gable turned heel last week against Sami Zayn in Sami's hometown of Montreal. And that's understandable. And a lot of people feel that this is not who Chad Gable needs to be. But we're already seeing in just, the first, few moments, of this new heel run that he's going on, we could see that he's going to make the most of it. And the way they're positioning it is either he's going to influence and manipulate and basically covert the Alpha Academy to see things his way, or it's going to lead to the Alpha Academy, resisting what he wants them to do, and in turn allow him to be aligned with a heel Creed Brothers and a heel Ivy Nile. And think about that. The tag division has shown under Triple H's watch that they don't need the tag team championships to have a decent storyline feud. And the women's division has proven that as well. And what better way to really, kind of prove that once again here in 2024 than to go that route where you would have Gable, basically, have the Creed brothers turn heel and align with him, seeing his thought process of, hey, doing whatever it takes now to win and prove we're the best wrestlers in the process. But you look at it from a Maxine standpoint, what better way to really, build her up, build sympathy for her, and then build her up to be like the surprise breakout women's, wrestler of the year, up and coming, than to have Ivy Nile turn against her. You see, there's always a process, there's always a method and a process to the madness, if you will. There's always this process and madness, or process and method to the madness. And Triple H's madness always has a process. It always has a method that works in the end. And for Liv Morgan, we're kind of starting, excuse me, Sorry about that. But like I said, with Liv Morgan, last night and over the past few weeks, we've been seeing the little tidbits here and there of that method, that process, to the Triple H madness for her, in play. We've been seeing it. We saw it 2 weeks ago when she injured Rhea Ripley legitimately and storyline-wise. We saw it there. We saw it there. We saw it with her mocking Rhea after Rhea had to relinquish the Women's World Championship last week. We saw it then. And now, last night, we saw it with her little moments here and there. Her interaction, scuffle with Nia, her interaction before they fade to black with Dominic. I mean, the pieces of the puzzle to the madness of Triple H's creative mindset and his team's creative mindset is there. And they are coming in to focus. It just takes time and patience. It takes time and patience. And what they're going to do is they're going to set up Liv and Becky for Backlash, and Becky is going to end up probably losing the title there. And why, you may ask? Well, because Becky was supposed to be on break with Seth. She's supposed to be on break with Seth. She only came back because Rhea was injured. She only came back because Rhea was injured. She didn't necessarily want to come back, this soon, nor did she probably want to come back and become the Women's World Champion this soon. Obviously she knew it was in her future, but she didn't want to have to, be put in this position right now. But she is. And she's probably finding out that it's a position that's going to be very beneficial to her opponent, that being Liv Morgan. Because let's not forget, okay? Let's not forget, when Liv Morgan debuted in the company, not just as part of NXT, but as part of the main roster, who was she, who was she aligned with? She was aligned with Ruby Soho when she was Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan, who is Valhalla right now. And what were they when they were aligned with each other? They were heels. So she knows how to be a heel. She knows how to be a heel, and not just any kind of heel. She has the ability to be a psycho heel, a very psychotic, out to lunch kind of heel. I mean, if you think Bliss can play a psychotic heel as part of the Wyatt family or the Wyatt Six or whatever they're going to be, if you think Bliss can do it, out to lunch, Liv Morgan can give her a run for her money. So to me, for all the Liv Morgan fans out there, again, I understand your frustration. I do. I get your frustration. I get you wanting to go out and, basically, nickname and try to insult and try to get under the skin of someone like Becky Lynch by giving her the nickname Becky Hogan and everything. I get that. But you have to understand, this is a different administration. This is a different creative team. This is a different creative process than what was under Vince McMahon. And this time around, things are going to be different. I see it. You see it. So you just got to be patient. The time is coming. And let's not forget this either. Rhea is going to be out for the next few months. Maybe, maybe she'll be out, maybe she'll be back a lot sooner than that, I should say. But she's going to be out at least for the duration up to SummerSlam to make sure she's all clear and ready to go. The same with CM Punk. Make sure everything's clear and ready to go for him. The thing is, that gives WWE and Triple H plenty of time to get the belt on Liv, have her go heel, have Dominic align with her, and then there you go. Off to the races you go. And you know what's going to happen? In my opinion, is you're going to have essentially, as I said before, when I talked about, if we'll see blood again, in WWE as time goes on, I think what's going to happen is for the women, the first best example of that, the first best example of that from a storyline perspective that can utilize it is going to be Rhea and Liv. And it's going to be at SummerSlam, and it will be a Hell in a Cell match. I just feel that's the direction to go in it. You could see the process, in play as we speak. You could see it, in play as we speak with Liv. With what we saw last night, throughout the night, what we've seen in the weeks prior, it's there. And all they have to do, is just wait for Rhea to be cleared, which will be very soon, but hold her off just to make sure everything is on the up and up. And then come SummerSlam, you get her in her rematch against Liv inside Hell in the Cell. And then that's when you put the belt back on Rhea. And you have her distance herself, maybe not from Judgment Day, but from mostly Dominic, because again, she'll be at home watching and seeing Dominic align with this Jezebel who basically put her out. So to me, again, I get you. I get your frustration. I understand your anger. Honestly, I really do. But you need to be patient. You need to be patient and trust in the process and in the method of Triple H Paul Levesque's madness. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are, though. What are your thoughts on the decision to put Becky as the world champion last night on Raw? And do you agree with what I think is going to be the step-by-step method and process to the Triple H madness from a story perspective when it comes to Liv, Becky, Dom, and Rhea? Let me know what your thoughts are, and until then, I am out.